Hello guys, this is part 2, lesson 1, quarter 3, the land. So open your workbooks, page 17, and concentrate together please, okay? Our lesson today about forces on Earth's surface. We studied before forces below Earth's surface, but today I'm going to teach you forces on Earth's surface, okay? The first point in our lesson, we need to know some difficult words together. So the first word, weathering. What is weathering? Concentrate together, please, and open page 17. What is weathering? Weathering, the process of breaking rock into smaller pieces. What is weathering? Weathering, say it together, weathering, the process of what? Process of breaking rock into smaller pieces, okay? This is weathering. The second word, erosion. What is erosion? Erosion is the movement of sediment from one location to another, or from one place to another. So what is erosion? The movement of what? Movement of sediment from one place or one location to another. The movement of sediment from one location to another. So what is sediment? Sediment is the broken pieces of the rocks. Broken pieces of the rocks, okay? Sediment, the broken pieces, the broken small pieces of the rocks, okay? So erosion is the movement of sediment from one location to another. And the sediment means the broken pieces of the rocks, okay? Let's explain our lesson today. Now, forces on Earth's surface. Landforms are created, other forces work to wear them away. This means that there are forces work to put these landforms away, okay? Weathering breaks large rocks into smaller rocks. How? I can ask a question now. How does weathering break large rocks? How does weathering break large rocks? Changes the answer. We can answer this question by saying that changes in temperature can cause cracks, can cause breaks in rocks, okay? Then water gets into the cracks and expands as it freezes and breaks the rocks. So rocks eventually break down into smaller pieces, and this is called sediment, okay? So if I ask how does weathering break large rocks, we can answer changes in temperature can cause cracks in rocks. Changes in temperature cause what? Can cause cracks in rocks. Then water gets into the cracks. Water gets into the cracks and expands as it freezes, okay? And breaks the rocks. So the rocks break down into smaller pieces, okay? This is the answer. I can say it again. Weathering breaks large rocks. How? Changes in temperature. Changes in temperature, because of changes in temperature can cause cracks in rocks, okay? And water then gets into the cracks and expands as it freezes, okay? And it turns to ice and breaks the rocks and breaks the rocks, and the rocks eventually break down into smaller pieces, and these pieces called what? Sediment, okay? This is the process of weathering. Flowing water moves sediment to form new landforms. The flowing water moves sediment to form new landforms. Landforms like what? Like river deltas, okay? So the flowing water moves the sediment to form what? To form new landforms like what? Like river deltas. Okay, another forces that wears down landforms is erosion. Erosion takes place when sediment is moved by ice, by water, and by wind. Okay, so erosion is the movement of sediment from one place to another. Okay, and the other force that wears down landform is erosion, and erosion takes place when sediment is moved by ice or water and wind. Okay, let's explain the last point in our lesson. Landforms influence life. Landforms influence where people live. So the landforms affect on the people lives. Okay, the landforms affect on the people lives. How? People might want to settle or stay in an area with good soil and water. People might want to stay in an area with good soil and water. People change landforms in many different ways. Like what? How do people change the landforms? People change landforms in many different ways. For example, engineers build tunnels through mountains to make roads. Tunnel means holes underground. Tunnels are holes underground. Okay, so engineers build what? Build tunnels through mountains to make roads. And another example, farmers build traces on steep hillsides. Farmers build traces. Traces mean series of flat areas. A series or number of flat areas. Okay, and farmers build these traces where on steep hillsides. Steep hillsides means falling, okay, or slope hillsides. Okay, so if I ask you, give me examples about how people change their landforms, you can say engineers build tunnels through mountains to make roads, and farmers build traces on steep hillsides. Okay, thank you guys and goodbye.